All right, and next up we have layout and questions. So here is where we are going to actually add some questions in. We're going to click on Add Edit Questions here, and we can go ahead and click New, and then select a type of question. So we're in this tutorial, in this training, we're going to go over a few different question types, but if you would like more detailed and drilled down tutorials on these question types, please see our other tutorials that are going to be in this section. We have true and false question, which is what I'm going to select first. And I can go ahead and give it a title. If I were you, I would come up with a kind of a naming scheme or a title scheme for your questions, because if you are going to create reports, you will want these names to identify each question. So, and then I'm going to look at points. In my case, I want to make this question worth 1 point, and then I will have a question text. So we have a true-false question. And once I have my question, I'm just going to make it, title it as well. Now you can also call this number 1 if you would like to. So however you want to name your titles, you could choose to do that. You can also, if you're going to be working with question banks later on, assign a difficulty level. This is especially helpful, I think, if you have a type of course where maybe you have a bunch of quizzes every week, and then at the very midterm or maybe at the end of the semester you have a final exam that pulls from those questions. So you can pull from the difficulty levels within the weeks to do that. And you could choose to add an image if you'd like to. You'd want to add an image maybe in the cases where it's a foreign language class and students have to identify on the map and give directions in a different language, such as Spanish. Moving down the line, how would you like the style of the questions to be displayed? You can go vertical or horizontal. I'm going to just go vertical, and you have to select the answer here. So you can select true and go ahead and enter in the weight value. You can also do the same for false or just leave it as 0. Now in the feedback area, you can go ahead and add some more feedback to your students. Okay, so we added some feedback there for our students. We're going to go ahead and do the same down below. And here's where that hint is that I was referring to earlier. You can go and choose a question hint if you'd like to. You can also expand question feedback in total, which would be delivered after they complete the question. I'm going to go ahead and click Save. If you wanted another true or false quiz or question after this, you would click Save and New. I'm going to go ahead and click Save. So now we have our question in there. I'm going to go ahead and click New up at the top and select multiple choice. So again, I'm just going to go ahead and enter in my question text. My points are going to be 1. And I'm going to copy this question and also drop it up top in the title. Not going to add an image. I can leave this as vertical, but I can also choose to randomize the options that are going to be displayed to the students. So I am working with a total of 3, and you can see that there are a total of 4 spaces here. I'm going to work with a total of 3 answers. So I could choose to trash this last one down here, number 4, just by clicking on the little trash can to the right. And then I can start to enter in my options. Once I've done that, I want to go ahead and select the correct answer by going ahead and entering 100% into that weight. And then I can go ahead and add some feedback. Once I do that, I can enter in more feedback into my incorrect slots. Scroll on down to the bottom. If you'd like, you can add a question hint. I'm not going to do that. Or question feedback. I'm not going to do that either. Go ahead and click Save. And the last one we're going to be working with, clicking on New here, is fill in the blank. Now with fill in the blank, we're just going to go over this space real quick. You have, say, a sentence, and you have a blank that's kind of in the middle. So that's where text 1 and text 2 comes in here. So we're going to go ahead and enter in the first part of the sentence and then the second part of the sentence. And our blank is going to be our street name here, and we're going to go ahead and enter that in as 100%. Now you may have different ways of working your answer slot here, so do you want more than one answer to be given? Do you want different weights, percentages to be associated with each possible answer? Is it case insensitive or sensitive? So there are some options that are there, and I'm just going to go ahead and my title again, or I can call this street, and go ahead and click save. So now we have our 3 questions listed here, and there are a few things you can choose to do from here. You can select them and move them. You can click new and add other questions. You can import questions. But in our case, we're just going to go ahead and click Done Editing Questions up at the top right-hand corner. And we have our questions loaded in here. And you have a few extra options. How many questions do you wish to place on each page? If you have like more than 10, you can, definitely scatter them out. If you want to just place one question per page, you can see that the number of pages has changed. And would you like to prevent moving backwards through the pages? If so, check that box. So I'm just going to go ahead and click Save and Close because I'm done. And we're just going to finish this up. So I noticed that it says inactive, and I really need to make this active. So I'm going to go to Edit and find out where that inactive happened. So if I click on Restrictions, this status should be active. And then I'm going to click Save and Close. So just make sure that that doesn't say inactive there like it did for me, but that gives you an idea of anytime you need to go ahead and edit your quiz. You can come to the Quizzes tool, you can click on the menu item, and you can click Edit. Alright, so you can also see that it has a little key here, which means that we've given special access to a particular student. So we did have that in that same screen that we're just in. What we want to do now is add our quiz to the content area. So we're going to head on over to Content and drop this quiz right into the module that we have here. So we're going to click on not new, but add activities, because this is a quiz that we've already developed, and we're going to go to quizzes, and then we are going to click on this quiz in order to drop it right inside of this area of this space. And you can move it up to the top, you can move it wherever you'd like to, just by using the drag and drop tool. Alright, so that is the very basics of setting up a quiz inside of Desire to Learn.